Reading Festival was my first ever camping festival, and I know so many other people can say the same, you know, post GCSEs and stuff. I've been 3 years in a row now, so I thought I'd share my top tips. To give you some insight, I camped with people who like to mess around a bit, but not to the point where, you know, they were like hurting each other or whatever, stuff getting stolen. We like to stay a bit out the way. Obviously, camping. I feel like at Reading in particular, camping is so important because each camp is literally a whole different experience. Unless the map changes for 2024, you have white camp, brown, blue, purple, red, green, yellow and orange camps. In a nutshell, white camp is the quietest. Tents are further apart, but it is a 30-minute trek away from the arena. This is more considered the sort of family-ish camping because there's not as many people like me and my friends there. However, if you want to pop to co-op, it does make it quite hard because every time when I camped in white, I tried going to co-op, there'd always be a massive queue and then I'd have to end up waiting in it. Whereas in orange, I could just go back to my tent and then check again in 10 minutes and it was probably a lot better. Brown and purple are decent camps as they're in the middle, and I'd put blue camp in the same category. However, I find there are a lot of like twats that camp in these areas, frankly. They usually start the wars. When you see the videos or like the Purge Night or like Hedge Wars, it's always in red as well, but mainly purple and brown and then blue because that used to just all be purple camp. Also, I do find that in purple and brown the toilets always manage to stink out, so do try and avoid camping near them. Personally, I've never camped in red, green or eco, so I can't say much about them. I've never had people who have camped there that I've known. Eco camp is still fairly new to me, so again, don't know. But I know it is a further walk away. I think there's an eco camp in white, but it's also next to the white car park, so there is a good thing about it. There is also a green car park on the other side of the festival, which is near green and red camp. We went through white car park entrance last year, which was really nice, peaceful. We were just sat in our camping chairs in the queue, waited about an hour to two to be let in. Perfect, wasn't too chaotic. Whereas green, it was literally just people standing in a crowd for like hours on end. It was not relaxed and it just looked a bit rough. Red and green camp are again quite busy, and on the Wednesday and Thursday you have people trudging through your camps with all their camping gear. So it does get quite muddy, especially near the toilets. I'd say these are my least favourite camps purely because of how gross I've seen them. And to be honest, they're not that big. I'd rather like walk to the further part where there's gonna be less people coming like back and forth. Although I've never camped in yellow, I've camped by it like 2 years in a row now. I'd put orange and yellow as my top. Yellow is often busy and chaotic due to co-op being there and a lot of like small shops just outside the arena, but it is quite a big camp and some areas of it are quite nice. I tend to camp near the hedges and orange camp, which can be a death trap if people do start throwing stuff right where you're camping, but in my opinion it's better than getting stepped on by all the people on the path. You know, you're more likely to get robbed if your tent is nearer the path, you know. I just like being in a corner where no one can really see me. Orange is my favourite camp that I've camped in for 2 years in a row. Now they've removed the silent disco, it means even less people are walking through it. So I'd say it's a lot quieter than it used to be, especially at night when the disco is supposed to be on. It's about a 10-minute walk away from the arena, so really not bad, and it's about a 3 to 5 minute walk to co-op from where we camped in orange anyways, which was so good, and the toilets were just at the end. It was very accessible. It also gives you good access to blue and purple camp, where people we'd usually know anyway would camp. Moving on to facilities, Reading Festival actually have super clear maps about all their facilities, so props to them for all that because I've never had an issue in the past. As mentioned, obviously we have the pop-up co-op. Beside that, there's a med tent and like a mini pharmacy. If you have any medical issues, you can just use that. Reading, and I expect Leeds also, has an array of camping stores all over the festival dotted around the camps, which is great. And I've heard this year actually they're starting a thing where you can rent equipment and get it from these vendors at the festival. I don't know what the prices were like, but that would save a lot of hassle. But they'll literally stock anything you need. They have water taps in all the camps, usually multiple alongside toilets as well. All showers that I'm aware of are based in Yellow Camp. The premium ones as well are based in Yellow Camp, but they're also based in White Camp. I don't know if they're based anywhere else, but those are the two main hotspots. In almost all camps you have a welfare point just to help you with directions, and they do provide hot water, so if you need it for your porridge or like pot noodle or something, you can literally go and ask them and you can have it for free. They have food vendors in almost every camp, I think. I'm not sure about blue or green, but I'm pretty sure they have them everywhere. The sort of vendors I remember being there, I know they always have like an ice cream van around every weird corner. They do like Greek, Chinese, pizza, burgers being the main ones. They do some crepe places, some donut places. So there's a good variety. Don't know about vegetarians though, but there are a lot of like chip places around. There's like a cheap one somewhere as well. They also have a lot of like normal festival shops that you'd expect. Shops where you can get fake tattoos done, henna done, smoking paraphernalia of course, and just like other festival clothes, which are quite cute. There's like a massive circle of them just outside the arena, I think in red. Silent disco. Over the last year, the silent disco has changed a lot. I used to love it, but then in 2023 they changed it and took down the tent from Orange Camp, which is where it used to be, and now the disco is in the main arena. It wasn't great. They did this so more people could partake in the disco, but you ended up having to pay for it, which, you know, that's another like grasp of money. And the connection kept breaking off. Like, it was really bad actually. It wasn't loud, kept breaking off, like glitching. It was really disappointing as one of my favourite parts of Reading, so I hope they improve it for future years. I actually ended up selling my headphones on because I didn't want to use them, and it was only like Friday I think, and I was like, I'm not going to use them. So I think on Saturday, I think it was Saturday, I went around selling them. You wouldn't get your money back if you didn't give them back. It was something like that. I feel like it was at least a £10 deposit, but it may be more. But I charged a bit more just in case I didn't give them back. Luckily, all my people gave them back, so I profited. But that's what I recommend doing. Sort of on a Facebook Reading group, by the way. And that's what I recommend doing if you end up hating it, because it used to be a lot better than it was. And I don't think East and West stages are a thing anymore. I think there's a main stage and a chevron stage now. It's completely brand new, so I have no idea. I'm guessing they'll be in the same positions. My top tips, quick few top tips, because I've kind of just explained like a few main parts of the festival. Following the essential information, camp somewhere where you're comfortable. I think this is really important because you don't want to camp next to people that you feel uncomfortable with. Don't leave any valuables, camp where you feel comfortable, and talk to security if you feel something's wrong. As I said, if you don't like the silent disco, sell your headphones. Don't waste your money, and there will definitely be someone else who's itching to go. If you're interested in what the music's like, basically just imagine being in a club. That's one channel. The other channel is more like classical, like maybe a bit of rock. They also do some mixed drum and bass on there, but the first channel is mainly like pop, just songs that everyone knows. Top up on snacks when co-op is quiet, because you will regret it if you don't. I'm not sure what time co-op closes, but I know it opens at 6 in the morning. It is a bit more expensive, but it's still cheaper than the vendors. Don't be stupid with drugs. Security are really bad at Reading, but they still do have dogs around. Don't just flunk it and just be like, oh, it's fine, they won't check. Yeah, they might not, but there's no point risking it. I don't condone doing that, but once you are in the festival, you are in the festival, and don't let your friends pressure you into taking stuff in for them, because frankly it's not worth it, please. The funfair rides in the arena are £12 per person, so don't drunkenly offer to pay for other people because you'll regret it. Try to leave for the acts you want to see in good time. Constantly check the Reading app and make sure you know when it is and when it's starting and where it is. Within 30 minutes of a big act performing, there will be a stampede of people, and you'll probably struggle to get a good spot. And out of every festival I've been to, Reading, I've always had a particularly hard time of getting to the point I want to be at. I managed to get in the front gates quite a few times. I never seem to get like a good comfy spot. Maybe that's just not cut out for me. but people tend to be quite rude at this festival. Reading and Wireless, I've encountered the rudest people, but I think that's a given. They do really good chips for 4 or 5 quid at this point on the map. I hope I've marked it properly, and I hope it's still the same place as last year, because it has been the same place the last 3 years. They're cheap, they're good quality, decent portion size, and they're just around the corner from the rides, and I think they're in the middle of the 2 entrances to the arena. Check out the BBC Radio 1 extra stage, because sometimes they bring on quite well-known people, like content creators. The other year, the Don came out. I didn't see it, but I saw it online. I was like, wow. But yeah, it's also just like smaller artists. It might be really cool to check out. For nights when you're bored, they do show movies in some of the tents. I know some people aren't into just drinking their life away when there's nothing on, so they have them. Not sure about this year, because obviously they've changed the stages, but I think they've dedicated one of the smaller tents to a whole new comedy thing. I'm not actually sure, but yeah, check that out. Getting an over 18 wristband ain't worth it, because they still ask you for your ID. So especially if you have a fake ID, do not try and get an over 18's wristband. You just get people to buy it for you. And also check out the view stages. They always give out free little nicotine pouches. I do love Reading. It was my first proper festival, but I'm taking a year off now because the headliners, the lineup isn't really for me. So I do love this festival a lot. It has a special place in my heart, and I'm sure I will go again, but it's what's made me motivated to go to so many other ones, and I'm so excited to do more. I hope you have a great time, and I hope this video helped. I haven't covered, I feel like, everything yet, but I wanted to kind of keep it a bit condensed. So if you have any questions or topics I should make a video about Reading Festival, I will be happy to. Thank you for watching. Bye.